Of all the deadly creatures that exist on this planet, a great number of them actually live in the oceans. As a matter of fact, we would dare say that if you knew what you were really swimming with when you stepped foot into the ocean, there's a good chance that you would never visit the beach again. Everyone has always had this in the back of their minds, but in the 1970s, that changed. With the release of the classic movie Jaws, people became terrified of the water for one simple reason: sharks. In reality, we all know that shark attacks on humans are incredibly rare. In spite of this, though, they do happen from time to time. What's even more rare is capturing them on camera. But when it occurs, you're left with some truly jaw-dropping footage. From South Africa to California, here are 5 scary shark attacks that were caught on camera. We all have a fascination with things that are dangerous. There are a great number of people who enjoy walking right up to the line where thrilling meets deadly. One activity that these people can participate in is shark diving. Here, divers can get in a cage and allow themselves to be submerged in shark-infested waters. As the divers in the cages watch, people in the boat throw bait into the water, which is also called chumming the waters. This sends the sharks into a feeding frenzy, providing the dangerous thrill that the divers look for. In this video, tourists were diving just off of Mossel Bay in South Africa. After chartering a boat and heading off the coast to an area that was known to be frequented by large sharks, the fearless divers climbed into the cage and were lowered into the water. This is where the video picks up. Almost immediately, they found themselves face to face with a monstrous great white shark. Weighing over 1,000 pounds and measuring somewhere around 10 feet or 3 meters long, the shark started going after the bait in the water. However, things took a sudden and dramatic turn. After swallowing a large piece of the bait, the shark made a sudden turn directly towards the cage with its mouth wide open. Then, it clamped down onto the cage over and over again. Loud screams can be heard from inside the cage as the divers were terrified that the shark could break through. For 40 straight seconds, the great white continued its relentless attack. Finally, once it realized that a human meal would not be happening, it swam away into the blue. It's easy to forget that when we enter the ocean, we're in the territory of sharks. So any number of our activities could attract their attention. One thing that humans do, which attracts sharks more than any other, is fishing. The rapid and hyperactive movements of the injured fish attract predators from miles around. However, this danger is multiplied many times over when it comes to the sport of spearfishing. Here, humans are in the water with the sharks who are trying to get the same fish as the fishermen are. In this video, a fisherman had traveled from New Zealand to Ascension Island, a small volcanic island in the South Atlantic Ocean. It is one of the most isolated places on Earth. Here, you can see the fisherman as a yellowfin tuna swims right by him. With one shot, the fisherman sticks the spear right through its side. That is where the terror begins. Almost immediately after landing the shot, an 8-foot Galapagos shark appears from the shadows, heading straight for the diver. He was able to push the shark's nose, diverting its direction. After surfacing for a short time, the man looked down again. A second shark appeared, circling just below the struggling fish. As he fought to bring the fish in, the sharks swam directly for him again. It was a constant battle between deterring the frenzied sharks and keeping the fish on the line. A few times, the sharks even came close to taking chunks out of his leg. However, the diver brandished a knife and gave each of them a stab on the top of the head. It was 2 minutes of terror as the sharks were attracted by the struggling fish. In the end, he fought the sharks off and managed to keep the fish. As we have just seen, spearfishing comes with a certain amount of danger. When you're underwater shooting fish that will bleed and wriggle around, you're going to attract the attention of any shark in a mile radius. What is worse, there's no cage to keep you safe. Regardless, it is still an incredibly innovative and exciting way to catch fish. However, in this next video, there is one added element of danger. Tyler McQuillan is a 22-year-old college student who decided to take a morning to go spearfishing just off the coast near Santa Barbara, California. He was swimming just 300 feet, 30 meters offshore in 10 feet or 3 meters of water. But as you can clearly see in the video, the waters were incredibly murky. Vision was limited to only a few feet in any direction. As he swam around looking for fish, the GoPro attached to his spear gun was rolling. Suddenly, the camera and the spear gun turned upside down as his hands let go. A couple seconds later, he grabbed the gun again and spun it around. That is when the full horror of the situation was brought into focus. McQuillan had to let go of his gun because a 12-foot great white shark had bitten onto his fin, dragging it off of his foot and cutting his toes in the process. As the camera pans back around, the shark appears out of the murkiness. As it circled around for another pass, Tyler was able to jab it with his gun, stabbing it in the side. The shark swam off, and McQuillan retreated backwards towards the shore. Luckily, he only suffered 2 broken toes from the incident. Thus far, we've talked about stories and videos where people have escaped these close shark encounters relatively unscathed. They were the lucky ones. There are times where the story is much different. As these animals are so large, it only takes one bite in the right spot to end it all. This was the case for professional spearfisherman Rodney Fox, who to this day is regarded as a miracle survivor of one of the world's worst non-fatal shark attacks. On December 8, 1963, while he was participating in the 63 South Australia Spearfishing Championship at Aldinga Beach, he was attacked by a great white shark. But this wasn't a slight nibble. He was badly bitten around the chest and arm. It was an incredibly violent incident that left him with serious injuries. Fox's abdomen was fully exposed, his scapula was pierced, his spleen was uncovered. The list of injuries goes on and on. He was minutes away from death, but luckily was within reach of rescue and first aid. After a lengthy recovery, which required 462 stitches, Fox went on to design and build the first underwater observation cage for shark watching. He led the way in studying great white sharks for the next 40 years. Mick Fanning is one of the world's most premier surf champions, winning multiple world tours in 2007, 2009, and 2013. Having started surfing at a young age, Fanning was no stranger to the dangers of the sport, from being hit by heavy waves to attacked by sharks. Still, this wasn't enough to scare him away from the sport he loved. In 2015, Fanning made headlines worldwide when, during a surf competition, he was attacked by a great white shark. He was only 2 minutes into the J-Bay Open when the shark attack occurred. In video footage we cannot show due to copyright, Fanning is seen punching the shark and attempting to wedge his board between the shark and his body. Not long after, the shark bit off his leash, forcing Fanning to attempt to swim to safety. Fellow surfer Julian Wilson was quick to respond, paddling towards Fanning to offer any help he could. Being a professional event, a rescue boat was close by and quickly came to assist, picking up Fanning and Wilson and scaring off the shark. When questioned by reporters, Fanning stated that he just felt lucky that it wasn't his time. The story received news coverage around the world, and the remainder of the event was cancelled. Now, it's true that when we enter the ocean's waters, we are entering the world of sharks. The chances of being attacked by a shark at any time are incredibly low, but they are never zero. To see another video just like this one, be sure to click the link on screen now. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.